Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So you may have seen my recent video where we were doing a revisit using the British Book of Wild Flowers. So that was this ladybird book. And it was basically a revisit because I had made a journal using one of these books previously. And I thought, let's come along and see what we're going to do now, you know, using this book. I mean, it's probably about 5 or 6 years since I made that original journal. So I think we did this page together and we possibly did this one together. So since then, I did sort of say that I was going to go off and obviously, you know, do some pages myself and then come back and just do maybe 1 or 2 more. So I'll just quickly show you. I've done this page here and I did this center page spread. And then I did, I think, this one and this one. So I've still got lots of the journal left to do. So I thought let's come along and kind of do another couple of pages. Now, the other thing that I would kind of highlight is when I looked through and I showed the video of the original journal, that's the word, journal, in the last video, it was quite interesting to see how few pages I actually used from this book. And I talked about that at the time and said, you know, obviously it was because I was being so stingy with the, you know, using the book images up. Now I obviously have a bigger collection of stuff. Generally, I feel I can be a little bit more generous with, you know, how many of the pages that I use. So, I mean, I would happily kind of fill every single page, but I'm not going to because I'm trying to do it, you know, more interestingly than that, I suppose. So I've got all of these pages, whoops, all of these pages left. So I might use these in forms like, you know, journal cards and things like that, just tucked in. So therefore, I don't feel it's necessary to don't feel it's necessary to actually have them on every page. But for example, this page, doesn't that journal card, or, you know, what potentially will be a journal card, go rather nicely with this pocket? So this is obviously a ready-made pocket that I've made, but I think the colours pick up really quite nicely from this. So that's kind of more the type of thing that I'm, you know, doing with this journal rather than like the original one where I, you know, kind of like was a bit stingy with the amount of pages that I was using. So I'm going to just kind of do that. So I thought let's fill in a couple more pages. So I do really like this on this page, I have to say. So it's just a case of obviously, you know, bringing in perhaps some of the colours. So this, obviously, we've got the reds here in the poppies, got a little bit of red in this paper. So, you know, I feel it is, you know, it is kind of going with that quite nicely anyway. I'm just having a look on my desk to see what else I might have that I feel would tie the two pieces together. I mean, I don't mind, you know, something like that. That's just a butterfly from my cabinet collection, butterfly cabinet collection. That kind of helps to tie it in. Got this here. Again, it's a different colour red, so I'm not sure that's great. I have got this. This is probably a little bit too bright. I dug out kind of things that I thought, oh, potentially that might go. But yeah, I mean, it's probably a bit too bright. These are quite orangey and a bit dulled down. This is, yeah, potentially, I think, a little bit too bright. I've got some of those Hawaiian flowers which I had dyed, so that, to be honest, is quite a good kind of colour match, I think. So yeah, it's picking up those quite nicely. Now when I glue this in, if I just had that as a tuck spot, I could have that as a journal card tucked in like that, in which case I could have this, I mean, I'm not saying that as a poppy, but that kind of thing that we have going on here, I could have on this page. Now I'm just seeing, I've got some centres which we could have, yeah, we could kind of like do it like that. Just see whether I've got some other colours. So we could have like the red and the green, which would then, you know, potentially tie in the colours better. I've got that one. Yeah, maybe something like that. And then that's just bringing those two sides together quite nicely, isn't it? So I quite like the look of that. So what I want to do is probably cut this down because otherwise it is, you know, quite dominating the whole thing. So I'm going to take off like some of the sky. That's not really adding a great deal to the piece. And then we'll just take it down on this edge here. Okay, and then I will obviously back this onto some plain paper. But for example, this then, you know, would just slide into there if this were just as a tuck spot. And then these just going on the opposite side, you know, brings that together quite nicely, doesn't it? So, oops, sorry, every time I move this, it's dropping apart. Perhaps I could staple that together. Oh, I don't think I'll do that. Let's just pop that there. Now, I'm just wondering whether I could have any other pages like torn down or anything on here. No, I don't think so. I did see earlier I had some, not keen on the yellow because there's not really much yellow going on unless we have it like that coming out behind, just sort of like that. What do we think to that? Just going to check. Whoops. These are the fussy cut flowers from my An English Country Garden printables, which, to be honest, I had put this through my scan and cut. So can you see how fine that has been cut there? So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to cut it like that, but the scan and cut did, which was awesome, I have to say. I'm just wondering whether we might prefer it like that instead of over here. Let me glue this flower together because otherwise it's just constantly moving and it's becoming very annoying. So yeah, let's just layer that up like that. Oops, like that. And then this one just in the center, like that. So yeah, that's quite cute, isn't it? What do we think? Do we think this is, because it's not quite orangey, it's sort of got a bit more of a red tone, but I don't mind that, to be honest. I think that's okay. Let's just have a look and see, would we want some lace or something down the edge of this page? Or would we prefer like some sari silk ruffled? Let me just see what else I've got sort of beside me. Oh, I'm not sure now. Sorry about my creaky chair. Obviously, my weight's obviously now taking its toll on the chair. Hold on. I mean, the chair does get a lot of use, I can't lie. Right, let's have a look here. A couple of, oh, sorry, Bo, sweetie. She's always ready to jump. And that was just, I'd caught the cable to the hot glue gun. It made it drop on the desk, so she's kind of like jumped up out of her skin. She probably thought, oh no, she's about to drop something on me. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that things have dropped on her. Never my hot glue gun, but yeah, other things. So I can't really blame her being a little bit nervy, but come back, sweetie, come back. You're safe in here, I promise. I have got this black. Now, I haven't got any other black going on in this whole journal, so this may be, you know, a little bit weird to suddenly have black on here. I'm not sure. I mean, I quite like it on this page spread, but because there's no other black in this journal, I feel like that's going to be a bit of a, you know, odd combination or an odd choice. I have got this, which this isn't antique lace, but it looks very antique-y, doesn't it? So we could have that. I've actually got it upside down, but put it up the right way. Oops. Try and find the other end of it. Come on. Oh my goodness, where's the other end? There we go. Could have it like that. I mean, although I do love it, it's not really substantial enough, is it? I feel like it needs something a little bit more, you know. Yeah, let me just have another look through my lace drawer. Got this weird stuff. This is like just an offcut. Well, not an offcut, but you know, it's all I've got left of this. Not sure whether this was upholstery trim. I feel like it did come actually in a, you know, some sort of crafty pack, but it's, yeah, it's a little bit like an upholstery trim, isn't it? Let's just have a look and see. It's quite pretty. I don't know, it feels a little bit flat, doesn't it? I prefer things normally hanging off or being a bit more, you know, in your face kind of thing. Unless we have that there, and then we could have maybe a little bit of lace, you know, coming off at the bottom. Just try this. This is some lovely lace that I've coffee dyed recently. So yeah, I'm surprised that I'm not hoarding it, to be honest, but I will be soon, because once I'm starting to run low, I'll stop using it then, because I think, oh, hang on, I'm running low on that. Best not use anymore. Just put that under there. So if I had it on top of the pocket, what do we think? It feels a little bit hemmed in, doesn't it? Like a little right angle going on there. So yeah, maybe not. I mean, it's so silly, isn't it? You wouldn't have thought there would be quite so much choice here, or, you know, things to deliberate, but you know, we want to make the right choice, don't we? Oh, I've just found this actually, which this is from my autumn collection, and this also is a label from there, which now I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if we could have this kind of like opposite somewhere, or perhaps we could have this on the journal card. Oh, I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, decisions. What do we think? Unless I do just have some sari silk, it feels a little bit boring, but maybe that's the way to go. Wonder if we need a bit of paper torn off in the background. Let me just see if I've got any suitable scraps kind of like beside me. Now, unfortunately, I have been using a lot of scraps lately, so I'm sort of low on choices today. I would normally have more in the way of choice, but yeah, I'm a little bit low on choices. But try this one. It's from my patisserie collection papers, I think. Not sure whether this made it into the finals, if I'm truthful, but yeah, it might not have done. Just wondering whether it didn't, so yeah, I'm not sure. That. Oh, I have got that, which that's definitely from the patisserie collection. So maybe something like that. I just wanted something more, you know, with a bit of red on, to be honest, to just bring the two bits together. So let's just put that, oh gosh, stay down like that. Now, could have this, but I'm thinking possibly this one. I wonder if we could just have it poking out here at the side. Let's try that. Just a little bit there, or we could have it maybe at the top. Not right, because it's now hang on, right, let's try this bit instead. Oh, this will be upside down, but I would hopefully cover that with the pocket. There we go. Which can't really tell, or could be this way, just at the top there. That's quite nice. Okay, I can't believe how long this is taking me to decide. So sorry. Yeah, now just wondering maybe something like that. So if I would have that, and then what do we think? Do we think the sari silk, or oh, I've got this raggedy sort of lace. Or maybe, yeah, maybe it shouldn't have something coming off at the side, or maybe just a bit of lace down to the bottom. Let's just snip that. Just try that. Okay. Yeah, what about that? Sort of curled around like that. It's quite cute, isn't it? And then this would be a journal card popped in there. Yeah, that's quite pretty, isn't it? So let's just pop this down. Oh, I've just spotted some more red flowers. So, oops. Let me unclog my glue, which did have the pin stuck in it, but for some reason it's still not coming out. There we go. So how is everybody? I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you are having a nice time and doing some crafting. Let me know in the comments below, or share in the comments below, what it is that you're working on. And I know I've said this so many times, but it's so nice to hear and get inspiration from one another. You know, if anybody's kind of like having an off day and, you know, feeling a bit flat and thinking, oh, what shall I do? Sometimes just reading what someone else is doing can be so helpful, and, you know, just spur an idea or spark an idea, and you think, oh, you know, I'm going to have a go at that. So yeah, don't be shy. Share in the comments what you're working on. There we go. Right, so yes, this was that other red flower that I just spotted whilst I was doing that. So I'm thinking that there, and then this here. I just wondered whether we could have, oops, could have that flower there, or just put it, oh, maybe there. Yeah, quite like that. Just check whether we want this tucked in here or not. I've hoarded this for ages because my scan and cut's a bit fiddly and or finicky, or, you know, temperamental. It doesn't always cut as well as you'd hope. So when it did cut that out so perfectly, I of course then wanted to hoard it, because I just thought, oh my goodness, you know, look at how that's cut that. Yeah, it doesn't always kind of like do it so well. I mean, even on the same set, I can put the same set in there, and sometimes it will cut it like perfectly, you know, just like how it has there. And other times it won't want to cut it hardly at all, you know. Right, I'm just going to... I mean, sometimes I think it depends on like the lighting, because obviously it's got the setting for the dark and the light. So I guess even if the room is darker or lighter or whatever, you know, one day to the next day, even if you're in the same position but the room's darker, I think maybe it affects then how well it picks up the light on the images. I don't know, but yeah, it's quite annoying, to be honest. So when it does something amazing, you know, and cuts them really well, I'm like, oh my goodness, I must hoard them. Right, just going to put that there. I'm just going to check that I wouldn't prefer this flower on this side, to be honest, as I'm struggling to come up with the right edging. I wonder if we should have it more like that. Oh, maybe more like that. Yeah, what do we think? Strange, isn't it? But sometimes can just have a complete U-turn to what I originally think. Oh, just got this frame here. I'm just going to check whether... Oh, that's rather nice. Right, let me just ink this up. These frames which are floating around on my desk, but from something else I've been working on previously. But yeah, I thought, oh, that's quite lovely, isn't it? Right, I'm going to glue this down. So I'm going to glue this down like a tuck spot, just on two sides. I must say I go through phases of how I sort of put things down, and lately I keep on using them as like tucks like this, because it is so much easier to get your pieces in and out, and it gives you so much more flexibility with the size of your pieces. So like this that we're going to obviously layer up, you know, it's going to be still quite big. It's going to fit in here like that. Whereas obviously if I glued it on three sides, you know, it wouldn't fit in there without folding it up or something. So yeah, it's quite a handy thing to do, is just put them down where you've got maximum then room to put things in. So what do we think? Like that? It's weird, I'm not sure about that gap there now. I'm going to put that frame there, I think, because now I've taken it away, I think, oh, that's really plain. Really plain without the frame. Okay. Yep, pop that on like that. Again, just mop it out with my tissue. You'll have to excuse my tissue. I've obviously used it for loads of stuff now, and it's covered in the distress ink all over it. It's and very screwed up now with glue. It won't even unscrew. So yeah, I've run out of my dry wipes at the moment, so I need to buy some more. You know, they are just wet wipes, and I've said this before, but yeah, they are just wet wipes, but I just dry a load out. I need to buy some more wet wipes, and then need to obviously dry some out. So, and when I dry them out, I just leave them sort of overnight, just hung around like over my chair and things like that in my craft room, just overnight. And that's, yeah, that's kind of how I dry them out. Right, loving how that looks. Now I'm going to put this, I think, down here. Let me just check that I think that's best. That's quite pretty. Just check I don't want it this way around. Oh, that's also quite cute. Or maybe like that. What do we think? Yeah, I think maybe like that. What do we think? What do we think? Oh, again, just wish that I could hear you guys, and then you could help me decide. No, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Right. So that. And then this, we're going to just have, oops. I like it sort of curved. I think that makes it rather cute and sort of a bit more interesting than just being straight. So yeah, we'll just pop that down like that. Okay. And just then put it down here. Oops, and a little bit there as well. Okay. Right, that one. And then, yeah, this one, I think we'll just have a flower centre in there as well, because I think that would look pretty to have something in the centre now. Just wondering, oh, just got some of these little roses, which I think, oh, I wonder if we should have a couple of those somewhere. Just take a couple down and see. Maybe that one. Maybe one. Something like that. I wonder if we should have one of these in the centre of those flowers. There's probably going to be one too many of these now. Oh yeah, don't like that there. But maybe on the frame. Or maybe on here itself. That would maybe look quite cute. Something like that. So yeah, obviously I'm going to line this and then it will be sort of stiffer, but let's put this there. This is one of those little embellishment pieces that we made. I really, really love them. I have to say I've got to make some more of them because I'm beginning to run low, but yeah, I really do love them. They're so cute and they just look really gorgeous everywhere that you put them. So yeah, if you didn't see my original video making them, you know, check it out because they're very, very cute and very, oops, I forgot I'd tucked that in there. Maybe I won't have that then. Maybe one up there and not there. Okay, let's do that. Sometimes it's just getting the balance right, isn't it? Like that. Yeah. Okay, love how that looks. Now, do we want any bling or anything on here? I'm just wondering, just checking on my desk if I've got anything else that would sort of look cute. Oh, I've got that. Again, I'm back to black, aren't I? Which I said, well, I'm not going to have black things because there's no other black in this journal and it would then look a bit weird. And what's my first thing I do? Try out the black stuff. So yeah, let's resist that. Okay, I might finish that off with like a lace cluster or something like that, who knows, but I'm just going to see. I've got this. Oh yeah, maybe that in there as the center. I actually can't wait to see this journal finished. I'm quite excited because where I had obviously made one using this book before, I'm sort of fascinated to see how it's different. You know, it's sort of interesting to see what we do differently. You know, and I mean, some of it is just because I've got obviously more supplies now, and, you know, it's not necessarily that my style has changed that much, although it possibly has. I don't know. Let me know what you think if you've been with me for a long time. Do you think my style has changed, or would you say it's kind of like pretty much remained the same? Which that sounds really dull, doesn't it? But yeah, would you say it's kind of like remained the same, but perhaps kind of like just evolved with my supplies? Perhaps that would be a good way to describe it. So yeah, I really, really, really like that page. Now I've just got some book page here with this illustration, which is plain on the back. So I'm just going to use this to back my, back my journal card, which I think we'd even been using this previously with the other ones. So down there like that. This journal's very eclectic. I mean, I am, you know, someone who struggles with the whole getting away from being too matchy. But this journal, I would say, is very eclectic. All the pages look very, very different to one another. So, you know, this page as well, I think looks very different to other pages that I've done. Which hopefully once it's completed and I do the flip through, hopefully you guys will think it looks different. Yeah, I would say it's been quite a sort of good one for stopping me being too matchy actually, because I've been a bit governed by the pages from the book, which actually when you look through, they're not all the same. I mean, obviously they're not the same, but they're not the same colours. You know, some, like this one, for example, has got the, you know, the orangey kind of poppies on there. Some have got, you know, like purpley kind of flowers. Some have got like white type flowers. So yeah, it was quite surprising actually when I looked at the book how many different sort of looks that the pages had. And maybe that's kind of like enabled me to be a bit more free with my, you know, not being too matchy. There we go. Might just round those two edges rather than all four. Okay, and yeah, let's just ink this up. Okay. Like that. Now, just wondering, because I've just got things laying around on the desk, so I just wondered whether I might pop a little bit of lace on here, only because it was laying around. So maybe even down that edge, I think. So yeah, just pop the glue down there. Okay, oops. Check I'm gluing the lace on the right way. Always a struggle for me to tell which way around the lace goes, you know, because it's got like a side where it's sticking out a bit, which I assume is the right side of the lace, but sometimes it's not that evident to see. You know, it's hard to decipher which is the side with the sticky out sort of pattern. There we go. Oh, I love that. So yep, that can then just tuck into that tuck spot. So I hope I haven't moved that lace now when I tuck that in, but yeah, that's rather cute, isn't it? And we can have that just poking out a bit where we see the red, tying in the red from the pages. So that's another page done. Right, let's have a look through. Okay, so I think most of the pages that I've got, weirdly enough, seem to be the single pages rather than the double page spreads, which, I mean, there's no reason for that, but that's just how it seems to be. So I've tentatively put this one here, no particular reason, but just because I wanted to sort of save a load of choosing while I was obviously filming with you guys. So again, let's just see what pages we've got left here, and if I've got none that are going to tie in nicely with this little, you know, faux paper bag, then I will perhaps pick a different piece. So I've got those. Let me just see. I've got this one. Oh, that one's not bad. That one is not bad. Oh, yeah. actually quite good, I would say. So yeah, what do we think? I think that's quite nice on there, to be honest, or quite nice with that. So I'm just wondering, yeah, what we could do is just make a little envelope from this, I suppose. You lose a lot of the image by doing the envelope look, which I really like that page, to be honest. So that seems a bit of a shame because, yeah, that's a very pretty image, isn't it? Okay, well, perhaps we'll have this paper clipped onto this side, actually. And then we're sort of making a double page spread from that, aren't we? So, yeah, let's do that. Just going to be weighing this down with the stapler while I find some bits and pieces. So, again, what I will try and do is maybe tear off something, you know, some other paper that's going to just bring those colours in onto this page. So just having a look on my scraps, I have got this, which it's not bad actually. By the time I've inked that, it would, yeah, I think quite, you know, tie that in quite well. I've got that. This from my vintage desk. I think this is the set 2, I think. Okay, I've got that we just used. No, that's a no. I've got this. That might not be too bad. Let's just tear a little bit of this and see. Because we might even have a bit, you know, more than just one thing. So let's just take that down. Okay. Got those couple of bits. And what else have I got here? The bees paper. Oh, I mean, that might be quite cute, actually. Oh, I'm now thinking I've got quite a selection, actually, that are potentially potentials on here. So, yeah, let's have a look and see. So, I'm going to obviously make a little journal card for this one. And, yeah, we can have this on here. What we could even do is actually hinge this onto that page. So, let's make a journal card from this first. I'm going to cut it down slightly. Partly because it's too big to fit onto the bit of paper that I've got left. Okay. Yay, it fits on now. So, yeah, that's all good. So, let's just glue that down. They're such pretty images, aren't they? I know I did talk about this before. But the Ladybird books, they have such beautiful images. Now, the only thing that I would say about them, they're actually very tricky to use because the images are so lovely, but also they are full page images. And this is the same with all of the books. So, you know, not just like these flower type books, but all of the books. So if you bought like any of the, like the nursery rhymes or the fairy tales and all of those, it's all the same in that the images, they take up the whole page and they are, you know, super yummy and gorgeous. The whole page, you know, is super yummy and gorgeous. So therefore, even cutting them down to make them smaller is quite tricky because then, you know, you're losing potentially some of the lovely image in itself, which is then, you know, obviously a little bit of a shame. So, yeah, I would kind of say that, which, you know, that's a bit of a shame about them generally because I do actually really love them otherwise. But yeah, I love them, but I find them just a little bit tricky to work with because, you know, they are almost too nice. Too nice, but too big then, you know, to potentially cut them down at all. Okay. Yeah, so we've got that one. And then what I'm thinking, I'm going to round the corners here, like that. Okay, I don't know why I've started rounding the corners myself instead of doing my corner rounder. It just seems to be something I've started doing the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure why. Right, so I'm wondering if we could have... Let's tear this down. So, oh, it's got my lovely bees paper. again, what's wrong with me? I'm now wanting to hoard this bit of paper because I've turned it over and I think, oh, that's so nice. I don't want to tear it. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely pathetic. So, yep, it needs to be torn down. So I'm kind of thinking, yeah, tear it down here, I think. So that would be like that on that page. And then this one, let's just tear this down. This would be, well, I don't know where this would be, to be honest, but yeah, maybe something like that. Let me just move these scraps out of the way because they're now all over the place. Yeah, what do we think? Or do we think we're better off just having this on this page? Maybe even this one. This is bigger, so it's going to be having a bit more impact. And then maybe like some bees or something on this one. That's quite cute, isn't it? Just check how we like this. Maybe something like that. Right, let me just tear this edge down. So if that went there, this went here. Oh, now you can't really see much of it. Hang on, let me just move that up a bit more like that. Yeah, something like that. And then, oops, got all these scraps of paper now all over the desk. Yeah, quite like that. And then, yeah, I'm thinking kind of hinge this perhaps. And let's just see. I hate just that look of that plain edge. It's so sort of boring. Oh my goodness. I just love how that looks straight away. You know, sometimes you get like just a winning look that you just, you know, you don't even need to kind of like deliberate. It's just instant that, oh my goodness, that looks lovely. That was one of those moments. And to be honest, that doesn't actually seem to happen very often for me. I normally am there deliberating for hours and hours, wondering which thing to put where. But yeah, for some reason, that as soon as I pushed that lace there, I thought, oh, that's yummy and looks gorgeous. And weirdly, can you see, I've put the lace facing in. So the sort of decorative edge is on the inside of the page, whereas normally I'd have it kind of like hanging over the page. But yeah, I think it looks really pretty on that one. Oh, I was having this over, wasn't I? Yeah. Mustn't forget how I'd positioned that, otherwise I'll be sorry. Okay, just smoosh this out. Just need to slide this down a bit so it comes down to the edge of the page. There we go, that's looking good. Yeah, love that. This then glued just, oh look, could have done with that being over. Let me try and move it over a bit. Because I wanted more of it hanging out really. Okay, hopefully. Oh, that was a close shave, wasn't it? A few seconds later it probably wouldn't have peeled off, but it peeled up. Oops, like that. And then this will be here, and then that lovely lace straight down the edge. Right, okay, so pretty much sorted. Just going to pop this on here like that. So again, just going to glue this. 1, 2. Okay, and yeah, a bit over there like that. And obviously, you know, might put some bits and pieces in the background, maybe some labels or butterfly or something like that. But I mean, to be honest, I just thought it looked lovely without anything else. You know, I don't actually even think it needs anything else on there. I mean, sometimes I think just having, you know, pretty papers is sort of enough. You know, you don't really need kind of other things at all. So yeah, I loved how that looked. Just check that that lace is up the right way, or whether it should be this way up. It's hard to see sometimes, but right, I'm going to just glue this down with the hot glue. then I might need to fill in some bits, because it's sort of one of those laces that wants to just curl up. So I might have to, you know, pop some glue down in a couple of other areas, but it might be okay. Like that. And again, just, you know, cutting it off sort of not neatly at the top or anything. I quite like that sort of ruggedy finish. So like that. There we go. Love that. And yeah, like that. That's gorgeous, isn't it? And then on the facing page, just going to ink this one up. Okay. Hopefully this is going to just pull the two pages together really nicely. So like that. Okay. Yep, gonna have that there. So this one on the other side, so this is my bees collection in the blues, and is it the blues and pinks or something? And then the other side is my Avery collection in the duck egg. I think in the duck egg. Okay. Oops. So yeah, I've used a lot of different papers in this journal as well, which is quite interesting because you know, like I say, I'm normally a little bit more of a matchy kind of person. So this has been quite good fun, putting so many different papers and things all in there, you know, from all different collections and, yeah, papers. Right, loving how that looks. Now, just wondering whether maybe just at the top of here, pop a little bit of lace, or maybe down that edge, or perhaps just down at the bottom of the page or at the top. Or maybe on that edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of do a hinge mechanism on here now, seeing whether I've got any paper that's suitable. Right, not that. What we could do, I suppose, is use, should we try this? So what I'm going to do is just fold this over, and then I'm just going to glue this together. This is actually quite thin paper. It's not my usual presentation paper thickness. I think this is 120. Sorry, the presentation paper is normally 120. I think this might be just 90. It is still a presentation quality, so it's still got that lovely super smooth thing going on, you know, and very nice quality print. But it's not as thick as my normal paper. I went through a little phase where I couldn't get hold of my normal paper and I had to buy thinner. So it's that. Okay. Just snip that down like that. And then what I'm wondering is if I can glue it onto here like that, and then yeah, so if I just fold that roughly in half like that. I could hinge it over the page, in which case I should have done it. I was thinking I would have it hinged here, but actually I'm going to do it the other way, so in which case, oh, I've messed up my folding. Okay, smoosh that down like that, and yeah, maybe we will glue it onto that edge. Now I'm thinking it probably needs to be thinner. And we could have it there. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So, going to glue this down onto here. So a bit of glue. Okay, like that. And yeah, oh, military operation here. Don't want to get my head in the camera. So it's actually quite hard to see where I'm putting this. Oh, my eyesight. I need to get closer. Right, like that. Okay, let me just squish that down now. Like that. Okay, like that. Make sure it's stuck down nicely. And then this piece is going to go over the page, and I can always cover that up, you know, if I don't want that showing, I can always cover that up with some lace or something like that. Now, unfortunately, this is not now gluing down instantly, so yeah, just maybe just put a bit of hot glue on just so I've got that instant effect. Okay, that one, and just check it's glued on this end. And that's why we like to use hot glue in videos, really, because waiting for glue to dry, otherwise, you know, it's fine, but then you've just got this vulnerable kind of like spot whilst it's drying, which obviously when you're doing videos is not ideal. Right, so liking that, let me just check that I wouldn't want anything else. I've just got these frames here, so I'm now like, oh, should I try and have a frame? No, doesn't really go, does it? Oh, just seeing what else I've got, you know. Again, no, doesn't really go. I mean, that's quite cute like that, but I'm thinking of, do we have a diagonal step going on with that? So maybe it's better without. Right, okay, let's glue this on. So like that. Okay, and that's going to hook over on the other side, if you see what I mean. So yeah, just hook it on there. Oops, like that. Try and get it as close as I can to the edge. Press that down, and then must remember to open it up and mop out any glue, because otherwise I will end up with it just stuck closed, and that's where I always end up tearing it, which is frustrating to say the least. Now I have got this just half a B here, which I could just cover up, to be honest, by just, you know, even doing like a little slither of decorative paper just running down there or something, you know. Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind having that B, to be honest, but just, you know, if it was bothering me, I could just cover it up with something like that. Oh, perhaps I'll do that. Yeah, so I'll just quickly ink this up so as it matches the other piece like that, and then we'll just glue this down. Oh, I don't know what's going on with the weather out there. It was okay. I mean, it's not particularly warm, and again, I do always say this, but yeah, I'm filming ahead, so if it's lovely boiling hot sunshine or anything, it's just because I filmed this ahead. So yeah, it's not overly warm. I've got a sweatshirt on, only one, to be fair. Sometimes I have multiple layers. Yeah, I've just got the one sweatshirt, so it's not too cold, but it's not too warm either. But now it's gone really grey. It's obviously about to chuck it down with rain, I think. So yeah, not the most fun. Right, there we go. So loving how that looks. And then just see whether I've got anything at all that I could put on here. And I've got, oops, got a butterfly. That's not too bad because it sort of picks up the browny yellow. So let's just ink that up. Yeah, perhaps we'll just have that over there. Pop that on. Oops. Get that glue out. I've got a little label, which perhaps we'll have a label somewhere. Oh, I should have really had it up there, actually. Let me just cut that in half. Honestly, you just can't beat a half a label or a half a frame, you know. It's one of my favourite things. Just the half a label. I don't know why, but I just love it. Absolutely love it. Right, there we go. Like that. Oh my goodness, how cute does that look? I love how that looks. Now, do we want to have any lace anywhere? Anywhere. Could have some down here. I would have it here, but I feel like we're then covering up quite a lot of this beautiful page here because it's got these flowers up here, unless we just have a little bit down there. A little bit there, perhaps. I shouldn't have put that label so close to the butterfly, because then it could have gone there. Or perhaps we'll just have a little tiny bit there. Let's just do that. Titchy little piece here. And it's literally falling apart and everything, but yeah, let's just do that. So again, just going to use the hot glue so as it's instant. Not then having to mess about. There we go. Like that. Oh, very cute. Very cute. Now we've got no bling on this page so far, so thinking we best have a bit of bling somewhere. Let's just have a look. Sorry about that. That was my son just texting me. So right, let's just have a look. Oops, that flower's now lingering around. Wondering about this here. I mean, that's quite pretty, isn't it? I was going to go with the black bling, but to be honest, I think maybe this looks better on this page because it's all quite, not saying neutral, but, you know, it's quite delicate looking. So let me just see, actually, if I've got any black bling laying around that I can just try, just in case, because, you know, I don't like to just assume. Ah, here we go. Here's some black bling. Oh, right, okay. Oh, now I'm thinking the black. Oh, yeah, so much for all that rubbish. Well, I don't know, actually. Again, why aren't I live and I can hear you guys and you can tell me which you prefer? Oh, let's go for the black, shall we? Oh, gosh, this is going to be really tricky. Look at it. How am I going to glue this one down? I have to glue this in 2 halves, I think. So, yeah, let's do this top half first. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Wow, could just really burn my fingers here. Okay, that top bit. And then I'm just going to glue this, oops, this bottom bit down. Like that. Okay, then just let's pop this back down here. Okay, like that. Oh my goodness, how very cute does that look? Yeah, like that. Oh, I'm pleased that I went with that the black bling now. It looks very sweet, doesn't it? Oh, I've just suddenly thought I did have this lace that I said looks very antique, but no. I've got loads of lace on there now. What am I doing? Why am I even still trying to get more lace on? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? I've just got this flower that was in my lap. It doesn't really go. Yeah, no, it doesn't. I just thought it might have picked up these colours, but yeah, not really. Yeah, not really. I think it's kind of like a step too far. We don't want to have that, do we? A step too far. Just going to put a little bit of bling in those 2 butterflies. So yeah, a little bit there. And then maybe a little bit here. Oh yeah. To be honest, I'm not actually loving it on that one. Yeah, I think that looked better without. Yeah, let's just have a bit on here. Okay, right. So that's it. Another 2 pages are done and dusted now. So we've got this with the flap, and we've got this tuck spot with the paper bag, and then we've got this page here, which, oh my goodness, isn't that just such a feast for the eyes? I mean, they're very, very, very different looking pages, aren't they? But yeah, I really like them both, to be honest. So yeah, let me know what you think. So it's coming on quite a bit. I haven't got too many more pages to do. I will probably do the rest in slow time now because you know, I talk about this all the time, but not everybody wants to see everything. And then obviously it messes with the algorithm because, you know, it then deems nobody wants to watch your videos, and it doesn't recommend then any of your videos. So yeah, I will probably do the rest in slow time, and then we will come back and I will do a flip through of the whole journal. So yeah, let me know what you think. Which page did you like the best? Do you like this one, or did you prefer the red one? So yeah, let me know what you think. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Would really appreciate a big thumbs up for this video, and if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate your subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much then. Bye.